I can go with you.
No. This is the only way.
Rick, pick up the axe. Not making a decision is a big decision. You really want to see all these people die? You will. You will see every ugly thing.
This is a video in the campaign series on self-improvement. You are here because you want to win, and I'm going to help you brutally stomp your problems and dominate life so we can save the world. Let's go! This video will help you craft your life purpose with 9 techniques and 1 powerful bonus technique in the end. Determination to do this usually comes about when you realize you really don't like where your life is going, such as in moments of desperation or uncertainty. You will get a wholesome view of your life, create a compelling, realistic vision of the future, one that is congruent with who you truly are. The vision will motivate you into daily action, give you hope, give meaning to your defeats and victories, challenges, tests that come your way, temptations, and also fear, and make you persist when all seems lost in life. Most people don't start this because they don't have a direction, nor a destination in life. You can say goodbye to that shit. This straightforward but deceptively long process is done by writing or typing. It will take some precious time, as any transmutation or change in life, but if you go ultra hard at it, it's even doable within 1 day. Because it requires a lot of deep thought, you should take time, at least a week, if not a few months, to get through the process. You will need patient curiosity, pay attention. When your creativity is unleashed and your mind speaks, look out for images and colors and suck all the meaning out of the messages that you get. To get the truth, you have to speak to your subconscious and let your subconscious talk back. This is hard, so you need to get creative. Use these questions as examples to break through the barriers, blanks or dead ends, and jog your inner voice past the I don't know. Avoid negation when talking to your subconscious if you can, and do not assume too much at the start. Why am I not happy? The question contains negation and is a bad question. Better is what pissed me off that time, which also uses an emotionally charged phrase as a trigger. Why am I annoyed right now? What is keeping me from being happy here and now? And what do I want to remove? Are much better, positively stated questions. Try open-ended, unassuming questions to bait some answers from your subconscious. Then use those initial answers as keywords in pointed questions to find out more and more. Every question contains a hidden frame, so if you're not getting answers, sometimes your frame is being rejected. Your subconscious will often disagree with your conscious part. You might ask, what's awesome about me? Sometimes your mind will be much more inclined to tell you why you suck, or vice versa. While on the surface you're crying why your ex left you for Kevin from sales, your subconscious is popping a champagne bottle because the bitch is finally gone. It doesn't want her back, and if you try to get her back, it will even sabotage you and push them further away. Another problem is asking too much at once. Go for one thing at a time. If your subconscious says, I did it because it was convenient, you could ask, what is it convenient for? Keep focusing and homing in on the why, as in what for, to find out what is important, and focus on the how or why it works that way to connect the dots backwards. How is smoking more convenient than not smoking? What do I want to quit smoking for? Keep notes of the questions that worked, and definitely write down important answers and lists of issues. Understand that ultimately the life you believe you've lived is a fiction, a story you use to explain everything that will change in time. The key is to discover the deeper truth about yourself and your life, the truth within your heart, the center of the emotional body. So how to listen to your subconscious? You want not your surface thoughts to answer, those are the ones asking the question, but the part of your inner voice that is not under your direct control. It's not the same voice. Pose a question in your mind, then listen to any reply. Ask carefully, as the answer will depend on the question. Then quiet your thoughts quickly for the answer. Maybe take a silent breath and listen carefully. A strong question mark in your mind's voice will act as a prompt to answer. Assume that your subconscious already knows the answer. After all, it knows how you feel and it directs your actions. So, how to recognize the subconscious voice? The subconscious typically answers fast, might not make sense at first, and doesn't stem from quote unquote surface logic. It might be more like a child's logic or conjecture, connected through memories, emotions, or desires, or even catastrophic thinking or dramatizations. It can also be cryptic and require some interpreting, or even not fully formed. Poke around while using the techniques and see what you can dig up. You can also ask someone for opinion on what a cryptic message from your subconscious might mean. Values reside at one of the deeper levels of our psyche. Core values, ideally around 5, are a compass for our lives, motivations, emotions, and a simple gauge for our life quality. The more we align with our values, the more congruent and happy we will be. If our values are fulfilled in our environments, this will feel even better. But this is not strictly necessary. It is we who have to be aligned with them. You will be looking for 5 keywords filled in with several sub-values and components explaining that value to you. It is key that you have a clear mental grasp of each of your core values. Our values change and fall into place in time as we take on new roles in life and abandon our old identities. The deepest of all values is usually called happiness. The values you are looking for are probably right below it, the ones that are necessary for that happiness. Values create meaning in our life, and living meaningful lives then makes us happy. This was the hardest and longest part of my own search, so don't worry if it takes a while and you only discover 1 or 2 values at first. It's key that you get this part of the process right, and you get a clear nod from your subconscious that this is what matters to you. Ask yourself what made you joyful, happy, and grateful in your life. Especially your first memories and early life experiences before you were 5 years old are very important. Ask yourself what values were fulfilled then. And think about when you were sad or disappointed or fearful or angry. What caused that? What were you reacting to in your environment? What is your opinion on these events? What values are called into question? What values are being promoted? What values are being attacked? Write each of these down. Come up with a list of at least 5 values, ideally more. Think about situations that got you into action and moving. Was it helping your elderly grandmother or an animal in distress? Was it researching a dark cave or building something alone or playing with friends? Or was it getting specific approval for a certain thing from your parents? Why did you do that? Go into specifics and dive deep until you reach a value. Keep doing this until you are satisfied and you have at least 5 that really matter. Then move on to explaining these values. If you've ended up with more than 5 values, no worries. This fun and easy part will help you shrink down the list to essentials, as some may be overlapping. Take each value and write a short summary about it. What does it mean? Where did you learn it and how? How does it make you or your life or the world a better place? What is your opinion on each of these values today? What does each word mean to you? How does it express in your life? How do you live according to it? And how are you failing at it? Do you have emotional or behavioral reactions to the value? List the keywords under each value. You may find that values relate. See which ones are subordinate or superordinate to other values. A hierarchy is fine and provides even more clarity for your life. Do this until you are clear on your values and each of them has a neat little description or a few keywords describing them. Create a square table with your 5 values listed on top. On the side, start listing activities you might focus on in your life, like jobs, hobbies to be turned into potential careers or sources of income, and things you've always wanted to do or have done in your life. Stay open minded at this stage and gather many ideas. It's the 21st century after all, and the possibilities are endless. Then, grade each activity on how much it fulfills any individual value with scores from 1 to 6. This will take a while for all the activities, but is very straightforward now that you've defined your values. Be honest and don't play favorites with activities. Use logic and not feelings. Sometimes we have limiting beliefs or outdated views about certain careers, so just let reason do the heavy lifting. Once all the fields are filled in, give each one a summary score by summing up their numbers. If all activities score poorly, find more activities that actually fulfill your values. Then rank the activities' scores. A few will end up at the top with the lowest number. These are the ones you should consider training, hustling at, getting good, investing time and money into, and turning into a business or landing a job in. This exercise helps you move up levels and paradigms from needing external things to influence you, to doing things to change yourself, to radiating your perfect life from your internal inherent value. The right way to live is to be first and foremost and let your actions radiate from that intrinsic worth, attracting what you want into your life. Simply imagine that you already have everything you would want in life. Focus on what that looks, sounds, feels, smells, and tastes like. What does your life look like with that? Then imagine that you're already doing and have done everything you wanted to do in life. All the transformative and significant work, all the travels and fun activities fulfilling your life's mission. Again, look at the five senses and listen to your subconscious for any objections to the images. You may find that many of the things you admired do not really appeal to you. Simply abandon or replace them. Finally, imagine that you already are all that you can be. Accomplished, worthy, proven, happy, confident, and peaceful. The more vividly you can feel these feelings, the more your body remembers and attracts them. As you do these exercises, your limiting beliefs, which serve as protective barriers against disappointment and danger, will surface as well. Oh, this is impossible because my career could never make me so much money. Or I have this disability, I will never do that. Record and remember such beliefs to use as a reference later when it's time to deal with them. This technique helps you meditate on what would suck about death, which tells you a lot about your desires. Imagine that you have died with no regrets after living your best life from this point on, and a speech is made about your life. What would that speech be? What does it say about you? What were your highlights? What challenges did you overcome and what lessons did you learn? How did you conduct your life? Write out that speech in full and make sure you get this one down first, so as not to get bogged down by limiting beliefs masquerading as being realistic. The second part of the task is to imagine that you lived your life on the same trajectory you are on right now. If you keep on doing what you are doing, thinking the way you are thinking, what will your life have looked like? Write out that post-mortem speech. After you are done, the difference between where you're headed and where you want to go should be revealed, so you can better plan a course adjustment in your life. If money is an issue for you, this task will reveal just how much this is the case, and what are the possibilities if you can overturn the financial barriers. It also brings to light the desires on the other side of one of the most common limiting beliefs, not having enough money or time. So imagine money were no issue for you because you had 10 million or whatever amount of a currency you needed. What would this year look like for you? What are your priorities now? Which problems still remain? How do you tackle them? What lifestyle do you want to create? And how do you want to spend the remaining decades of your life? You might want to consider that sipping pina coladas on a beach in Hawaii would put you in a depression and an existential crisis in under 3 months. Your attitude, genuine desires, confidence, and skills will be the real determiners of life quality. So, as you write out your answer, don't be surprised if not much changes on the surface. That's not the point. The point is to free yourself of an excuse and think and feel outside the financial box. Have you ever met a person that lives a life that you consider as heaven or hell? Perhaps they are who you want to be, have everything you've ever wanted, or are spiritually enlightened. Or they are broken and homeless, trapped in a job, relationship, or living situation, and hate and fear everyone around them. The goal of this essay task is to create an image of heaven to attract you and a hell to spook you into action and ward you away from distractions. Ask yourself these two questions and answer them separately. What could your life look like in 5 years if everything went perfectly? If you did everything you needed, wanted, and could do, took best care for yourself and what matters in life, and solved your problems in sequence. Keep it realistic. You probably can't do it all at once, going from an addict to a world-leading billionaire playboy, winning at everything in life. Also, you won't progress at the same pace when you start as when you've got experiences, skills, confidence, and a reputation to accelerate and ease your progress. What obstacles would you overcome and at what pace? Where would you be? With whom? What would you have? What would you be doing? What people would surround you and what would your relationships be like? What would your days look like? Then do the same task if everything went wrong. Where would your life be if you fell to your vices and sins and did not take persistent, committed action toward your goals, opting for distractions and settling for quick fixes instead? You might be confused here. Isn't self development all about achieving happiness? But I do deserve happiness. Everyone does. Well, that's the usually light, conscious side of things. In our subconsciousness, there is a dark jungle of reasons why we suffer and are not happy. Rationalizations, excuses, beliefs, victim stories, guilt, shame, and feelings of inadequacy. This question is framed and aimed exactly at this quagmire. Essentially, it is a form of shadow dive. Identification is the first step to solving these energetic blocks. This can be followed up by techniques for reframing the meaning or accepting and letting go of the feelings behind these blocks. Write an essay on the following. What bothers me? How did that come about? Where does it lead? Why is the solution to my problem out of reach? Why does some happy person deserve this happiness and how are they different than me? Why can't I do it? Why is my vision impossible? In what way are you an exception? How am I coping and dragging my problems along? Why am I forced to do this? Why do I deserve for people to react negatively to me? Why does money elude me? Why am I a bad friend? What did I do wrong? Why am I powerless to change? Write down all these explanations as they will likely need to be dealt with, integrated or replaced with some more effective beliefs. These beliefs are not facts or truth, they are more like a perspective, the one that leaps up when you try to struggle against your reality. Like the agents of the Matrix, these explanations keep you tucked safely inside your comfort zone where the situation is in control instead of having wild adventures with possibly unpredictable and even dangerous outcomes. A flip side to this task is to ask yourself why you do deserve happiness. What makes you different from unhappy people and what do you have in common with people who are on the path of happiness? If you've done all these various tasks, you've got a pretty good knowledge of yourself, your desires, values, and perhaps you're starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel. Your personal life purpose is the reason you live the life you do the way you do. It is the hidden intention behind your every action, an ideal that may be forever out of reach, but is worthy to pursue regardless. It's something you constantly do, something you would choose over any other option every time, that makes your suffering and sacrifices worth it. It is also something you uniquely offer to the world, or at least express in a unique way in your life. Behind all the big things you do, things meaningful in and of themselves, your life purpose is the reason you do them. In other words, it is what you are trying to do by doing these things. What is the most meaningful thing you are achieving or trying to achieve by doing them? To find out what you can offer to the world, or what problems you can solve, ask your friends why they hang out with you. What is it that they gain from being with you? They have to honestly tell you their selfish gains from you. This may be hard, but it will give you precious insight into your life's purpose. Get to something concrete, such as what emotions they feel and why. For example, if they feel lighter because they can feel carefree because you give them hope, or calm because you solve their problems and save them time and money, or you take their mind off of problems with fun, or they feel energized and excited as you help them chill and respite. You get the drill. What, why, and how they profit from your company. What do they think and feel about it? Afterward, you want to get it down to a single sentence. In one line, write it on a card and keep it with you. For example, a sentence would be, I'm here to inspire and give hope to all women. If you can't beat the puzzle or nail it well enough right away, just write down an approximation as a temporary life purpose and keep on the task. Life is full of suffering, but if we know our purpose, we can give meaning to the suffering and bear it. The problem is that in our suffering, our mood offers an unstable footing. Sometimes we feel calm and blissful, motivated or determined, other times we are agitated, vengeful and petty. At each stage we can be motivated by different causes. This is where you break into all the reasons for why you do what you do. Essentially, why you suffer for the things you are striving to achieve. List 3 levels of reasons why, putting each level in a separate category, as a petty, reasonable or enlightened reason. From world peace to revenge, nothing is off the table. List all you got. Ever wished you had your own sort of Tyler Durden help you get a grip on your life? We've heard that you should only compare yourself to your past self. But in this exercise, you create an image of the ideal self as a means of communication with your subconscious. So you also have a goal to strive for and a patron to invoke and consult in questioning times. A word of warning here. I am hesitant to propose this technique because the spiritual path forward is acceptance and gratitude toward yourself and your current situation. If you try to change what you do not understand and appreciate, you will be stopped in your tracks energetically. Conversely, the things you accept about yourself are no longer obstacles but are instead turned into strengths. This is profoundly true, so your ideal self must at least implicitly reflect your true desires, including the hidden ones and those you may have been taught to banish into the shadow. Cultivating and integrating shadow qualities and abilities makes you more grounded and formidable. The ideal self should be the true self, fully realized and actualized, nothing added or taken away. So, how to do the technique? What is the perfect version of yourself? The version that feels confident, self-assured, embodies your values, makes the utmost of your qualities, and lives as best as humanly possible. What do they feel? What do they look like? Picture them talking to themselves and others. Imagine them dealing with your problems and challenges. What do they do? What are their abilities? How do they face what you dislike about yourself? How do they conduct their life and face obstacles? You want to visualize the person so strongly, you can ask them a question and receive an answer from that image automatically. This will mean that your subconscious has received the image and internalized it. Don't kneecap yourself in this process, but dream and go all out. Don't suppress your desires and your abilities to satisfy them. Form an ideal self that deals with your desires with confident and committed action to bring about their fulfillment. Acceptance is due with the things we can't change and with the fact that deep change will take time and dedication. But when you have the power to change a situation, resignation is misguided. This happens when we have been repeatedly hurt in a particular area of life, but that doesn't mean we can't overturn it and finally win. Acceptance does not equal resignation. Acceptance is in the realm of love, and resignation is in the realm of apathy. You may find that different archetypes come to mind depending on the issues or period of life you are facing, such as a tempered warrior or huntress, a vibrant lover, a wacky tongue-in-cheek artist, or a studious scientist, or a calm, Taoistic manager or queen or mother, or a secluded monk, mystic or wise woman. You may want to immerse yourself in silence in a meditative ritual and let your subconscious speak as much as possible to give you the version of you that lives your potential to the maximum. Integrate the traits into a single image comprising of all five senses in your mind. Once the image has been seared into your mind, you can consult it to get answers to dilemmas and find encouragement in tough spots. If you feel too distant from this image you really like, you can visualize integrating and embodying it, entering its body physically, absorbing its internal qualities and thought and action patterns and making them your own. Be warned, however, that character is a habit that needs persistent development and takes time. Disregarding that will lead to unrealistic expectations, disappointments, and rejection of self. Write down your key points to this image and flesh it out in detail. Note that your ideal will also change as you grow and evolve. Better get to know yourself and also begin to embody these ideal traits more and more. Then you can repeat the exercise if needed to get even more perspective. I will make a video on SMART goal setting in the future, so click the subscribe button and the notification bell to get it when it comes out. I offer discipline and dating coaching services, including robust field support. I focus on mindset, results, and effective deep work. Follow this channel for more no BS content and comprehensive self-development hacks and how-to videos. Thanks for watching.